Is Trump's threat dividing or uniting Canada? Sharing the world's longest land border, measuring 8,893 kilometers, and boasting the largest bilateral trade volume at $923 billion, the United States and Canada, which share North America geographically, are engaged in a fascinating chess game. Just 4 days before Donald Trump assumes the presidency, his threat to impose a 25% tariff on everything imported from Canada raises a key question: is this dividing or uniting Canada? Let me tell you, Canada has risen to the occasion. More precisely, it has risen like a chessboard, and you'll soon understand why I'm making this analogy. But first, let's draw another comparison. Imagine Canada as a classroom with 14 students, representing Canada's provinces and territories. 13 of these students correspond to Canada's 10 provinces and 3 territories, each with its own government and premier. These premiers are akin to state governors and are referred to as premiers in English. The 14th student represents the federal government, led by the Prime Minister. You may ask, what's the difference between a province and a territory? Territories are directly governed by the federal government, which delegates legislative and administrative powers to them, a process we might call devolution. So, when I say Canada has risen to the occasion, imagine this classroom where all the students, including Quebec, stood up together. A symbolic gesture of unity was displayed by Ontario Premier Doug Ford, who donned a "Canada is not for sale" hat. It's like a national awakening. With Ford's bold move, the premiers have rallied together as a team. However, one student in the class decided to stand aside, almost as if saying, "This is not my fight." Now, picture the neighboring classroom, the United States. That lone student's behavior mirrors Alberta Premier Danielle Smith, whose actions suggest she's willing to break ranks for her own benefit. But this isn't a teenage quarrel, it's a trade war, a strategic negotiation battle ignited by Trump. Let's dive into the concrete details and updates. And while we do, don't forget to like this video. Premiers unite against Trump's tariff threats. Yesterday, the premiers met with Prime Minister Trudeau to discuss Trump's tariff threats, which could upend economic balance in North America. The agenda focused on critical issues: should Canada respond with retaliation, negotiations, or unity? Ontario Premier Doug Ford stood out with his bold message, "First, my country." His leadership was evident as he chaired the meeting and emphasized protecting Canada's national interests. Ford likened the situation to a battle, declaring, "If you threaten our jobs and people, you'll face a fierce fight." Quebec Premier Legault's approach. Quebec Premier François Legault took a pragmatic stance, emphasizing that Trump's proposed tariffs would hurt American consumers first. Legault advocated for preventing the tariffs through negotiation, but also assured that Quebec would respond strongly if necessary. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe's perspective. Scott Moe, Saskatchewan's premier, highlighted the importance of food and energy security in North America. He urged caution, warning that while Trump's threats should be taken seriously, they should not always be taken at face value. Newfoundland and Labrador Premier Andrew Furey's take. Andrew Furey, Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador, offered a striking chess analogy, calling Canada's energy resources its queen on the chessboard. Furey argued that Canada must protect its energy resources and use them strategically, not recklessly. Prime Minister Trudeau's national response. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau emphasized a unified national response, stating, "Our reply to Trump will reflect the interests of all Canadians. Our sovereignty is non-negotiable." He called for unity in protecting Canada's economy and navigating the challenges ahead. Key outcomes of the meeting. At the end of the meeting, the premiers signed a joint declaration with the following main points: opposing any unreasonable tariffs from the US, strengthening border security and combating the flow of illegal drugs, advocating against tariffs in Congress and among US businesses by highlighting their negative impact on the American economy, preparing a united and firm response if tariffs are implemented. The declaration also included plans to reinvest revenue from retaliatory tariffs into Canadian businesses and workers, along with high-impact infrastructure projects to boost economic growth. As we come to the end of our video, I must say, Canada has rallied like never before, determined to defend its national pride and economic and social interests. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel.